Good Monday morning, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, which is most of you, because only a few students from here are taking the course, and we've got students from across Ontario here, my name is Marshall McLaughlin. I'll be going by Mr. M. Welcome to Introduction to Psychology, Anthropology, and Sociology. What I'd like to do is post a video for you every Monday morning just to give you a summary of what we did last week, where we're going this week, and to address any questions or concerns that have come up. And so let me just start off by giving you the sort of the synopsis. For those of you, because there's a few of you who are just entering the course now, your board gave you, I guess, wrong information about when the course is going to start, and so you're probably freaking out a little bit because you're a whole week behind. Let me address that issue right now. I've decided not to have any deadlines for this first unit, so don't worry if you're behind by a couple of assignments. Don't worry about it too much. Work hard to get caught up and to keep the pace that I'm going to release things at, but I'm not going to start enforcing deadlines until Unit 2. To give you a sense of how long this unit is going to run, even more than a sense, I'll just tell you. It's going to run 3 weeks, so we're starting week number 2. Things will wrap up at the end of next week. All right, so where are we? We started off with an intro assignment that covered any 3 figures from history related to these 3 different fields of study. And then from there, you started looking at each individual field on its own and doing that in the form of a mind map, which turned out to be a lot more complicated than I thought it was going to be. The broken links certainly didn't help, but hopefully the video I posted for you in the news feed, hopefully that made things a bit more clear. I don't think the mind map has to be more complicated than necessary. It's brainstorming. Only you have to do a little research in order to get the ideas that you're going to add in there. So it's fairly simple stuff, and after a few email exchanges, I think, with a few people, we're able to get things sorted out and rolling on that. So right now you're on the psychology one, and the sociology one is coming next. And so yeah, it's 3 mind maps, and you might find that a bit boring and repetitive, but this first unit, the purpose of it is to just basically introduce you to these 3 disciplines, give you a sense of what each one is about, help you to figure out how are they actually different, because especially in the case of anthropology and sociology, what I found is there's a bit of confusion as to how those things are different, because they both seem to be dealing with the same thing. What's the difference between culture and society? Well, there is actually a pretty big difference, and maybe it would help you just understand that anthropologists really look historically at cultures and societies, whereas sociologists, yes, they take into account the past, but they're mostly interested in present day society and trends and things that are going on, how people behave today as opposed to how people behaved in ancient Greece or Mesopotamia. So yes, it's going to be kind of repetitive, but the idea is by the end of this unit, you'll have a basic understanding of these 3 fields, and you'll have a little bit of knowledge of who is part of these fields and what the different theories are, just a little bit of working knowledge, because a lot of this is probably really brand new. And actually that came up in the orientation, that little writing assignment. A lot of you said the field that I know the least about would be all of them, because I've never studied this stuff before. All right, so where are we headed? After you get through sociology, we're going to get into a little bit more research, and that brings up a really important point. The first assignment, and marks and expectations for writing. So back in the orientation, you did a writing assignment, and I gave you feedback on it. Then you did a citations assignment, I gave you feedback on that, and I get the sense that a lot of you didn't actually go back and check my feedback, because if you did, you would probably have seen that I'm looking for a bit more effort from some of you, and citation style is actually important, and a lot of you dropped the ball on one or both of those things with the first assignment. So this is a 3C course, college preparation. The goal is to prepare you for college, And college is rigorous. I don't know if anybody's told you, but it is not like the Diet Coke version of university. College is rigorous and a lot is expected of you, and your writing has to be strong, which means you have to write things professionally, like the quality of your writing has to be good, but you also have to put actual thought into your work and not rush things and not try to just get by with as little as possible. Now, I don't want to sound like I'm criticizing everybody, because I saw some very good work from some of you, but it did seem to me that there were a lot of people who I returned your paper to you and said, you need to go back and look at the instructions and you need to try harder, because if you're researching 3 figures and for each figure you're supposed to give me some background information and a summary of the theory or theories that they are responsible for, and a critique of at least one of those theories, if not, a little critique about all 3 of the figures that you've studied, and you give me 3 2-sentence paragraphs, or you give me 1 6-sentence paragraph, that's just not acceptable. All right, and I don't think that I need to explain why that's not acceptable. If we count kindergarten, you've been in formal education now, this is your 13th year. And if you can't give me more than a few sentences, it's just because you're not trying. All right, what you should know about me is that I don't give away credits and I don't give away marks. You have to earn those things here. And so for a lot of you, you need to do things differently starting now. So when you get into the researching part at the end of this week, because things are going to wrap up at the end of the month, like I said before, we're moving ahead. I want to see a better effort out of a lot of you and I mean, check your feedback, because for some of you, I said your effort is great. For some of you, I said, things were they were okay, and you just need to do a couple things to make them better. Like, everything was okay except for the fact that you didn't cite any of your sources, which you have to do because it's a research paper, and citations are the difference between, a paper that's good and a paper where you fail because it's plagiarized, which is what they'll do to you at college. If you present a paper and it's not your ideas, and it's obvious it's not your ideas, it's obvious you meant to cite things but you didn't. Profs generally are just too busy to work that out with you, and they'll just give you an F and say learn from your mistakes. So be better to just sort that out now. So that's where we're headed, is towards research, and you're going to be grouped up together for this little activity where you're going to be in teams coming up with some ideas, and then you're going to eventually be formulating those ideas in the form of a research paper on your own. Remember that I'm going to be looking for you to put effort and thought into your work, and to follow the instructions, and to cite your sources. So other than that, I think all I really want to do is to encourage you to get in touch with me by email or using the pager if necessary. A lot of you have been making use of that, and that's great. And some of you even apologize for the fact that you think you're bothering me, which you're not. My job is to answer your questions, which, that actually sounds kind of bad, because it's not because, it's my job that I'll answer your questions, but because I want you to do well and I want you to learn some stuff. And by answering your questions, I can help, and I want to help you. So email me using D2L or use the pager, or outside of school hours. The best way to get in touch with me is my work email, which is mclaughlin.m@rcdsb, that stands for Renfrew County District School Board.on.ca. And that email address is available in the student information part of the course. So that's where we are, and that's where we're headed. And other than that, all I can tell you is hope you have a good week, and let me know if I can help.